So you want to start farming, but you don't know where to start. How do you even get started? And that is what we're going to cover in today's episode over here at the Hyperlocal Agent. My name is Janine Sasso. I'm the owner and founder, and I help agents figure out geographic farming, direct mail marketing, and do it in a way that is easy, cost affordable, and best of all, a lot of fun. So let's dive into today's episode. I was reading an article and it started with, what is that one thing that people ask you, and when they pick up a book and it had that title, they would absolutely love it. And I thought, so you want to start farming, but you don't know where to start. And that is really where I talk to a lot of agents that think, I've heard about the term, I do want to get started, but what do I actually do? And yes, we have a workshop that goes over it, but so many agents just need to get the 30,000 foot overview. So what is it when it comes to farming? First off, where do you want to work? What area do you want? What price point do you want? Right? Is it an area that you're familiar with? Is it a new area you want to get to know? With geographic farming, the nice thing is you can literally pick the area you want to do business in. So if you had to decide, this area is where I would love to be the dominant agent, what is it? Just take a drive around maybe, right? See where the houses are selling like hotcakes. What is the area that people are like, this is where I want to live? Are there schools that are super desirable? If you have a style of house, is that something? What about the 55 plus communities, right? So you have a lot of options to evaluate at first, which is what slows so many people down, right? They get stuck in the weeds. They are like, I don't know. For me, I fell into my own personal geographic farm. I didn't grow up here. I didn't go to school here. And I was just not familiar with a lot of other towns. So I decided I'm going to go with where I live. Turned out to be a really profitable geographic farm, and it's a nice way to sometimes start closest to home. Now, when you start out, the way we set it up for all of our members is actually to make sure that you're able to scale. And the reason is really simple. When you have a geographic farm and you're starting out, let's say with 400 houses, 400 homes that you're farming, unless it's multi-million-dollar mansions, will not give you the income that you're likely looking for. So you need to be able to expand to a farm size that makes you comfortable and that gives you the income you want. Now, starting small and growing to that income level is a big, big part of what people do not understand and what we have really broken down in a super easy way for people that take us up on our geographic farming workshop. So if you look at what is it that I like, where do I want to do business in? What types of houses do I want to sell, right? And then you go from there. The next part that people then get stuck at is like, I know the area, I know, how to go about this part. We look at, well, what about the addresses? And there's a couple ways to go about the addresses. One is with what we call every door direct mail, EDDM, which you will not need an address per se. You will just address it to everybody on the specific route with dear local postal customer. It's not very personal, but you don't have to hunt down the addresses. That's the plus. Now, for some of these smaller farms, EDDM is not cost effective enough because you do need to have a certain quantity before your printing gets affordable, and then the postage is the same for everybody. So in the event your farm, in our rule of thumb, is under 1,000 homes, we oftentimes recommend that you do one of two things. One, good old school manual work. Yes, you can go door to door, you can leave a door hanger back, you can drop off something to their front door, right? Or you can do targeted, meaning that you are needing now addresses. Now inside GeoCentral, we've made it very easy for people to get addresses for their neighborhoods. You can also use tax services such as Remine, RPR. There's a lot of these out there that we have access to. And then when you do that, you will send targeted mail that doesn't go to Dear Local Postal Customer anymore. It goes to Dear Jane Doe, right? So now you can address them and make it a little bit more personal. The downside of these is obviously they are a little more expensive because there's a little bit more labor involved from the United States Postal Service to get them there versus just a route. Now, some of you are already glazing over, I think, and thinking, oh my gosh, I forgot the first thing she said, right? How do you get started with a geographic farm? And it's all about the area first, and then about the how. How are we going to mail? And that is where you really have to figure out what works for your budget, what works for your farm, and there is no one size fits all. And that's the part that so many agents don't realize. They think like, oh, they're using this one in my office and they're a mega team doing millions, so maybe I should use the same service, but maybe you're not ready for that service, right? Maybe you should have a different approach to where you're building than what that person is that you're watching. So again, so many different little things to make this work, but the path is the same. Pick a farm, determine the best and most cost affordable how, and then take the action and get it out. So if you are still struggling with that and you do want help, we do all of that right inside the Hyperlocal Agent Facebook group. It's free to join us there. You can also do a 10-letter a day challenge with us, which is absolutely free to take. And you can just type the word challenge to 844-950-3580. And then we will send you a prompt asking if you want to do our 10 letters a day challenge. And again, the concept is to get out there, right? Get out there, be known, get into action, because that's the part that everybody else is forgetting. It takes action for you to see the results. And if you're not looking for the action pieces in these sessions, in master classes, whatever you attend, you're always going to be stuck in the beginning, okay? So action steps first. Find your farm. Get a checkbox out. Find your farm, figure out how to mail, if it's targeted or EDDM, and take action. 3 steps. That's it. So hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next episode.